1-0. Our officials tonight, see our head referee, Jude Carr, assistants, Dean Morgan and Johan Podolski, and our fourth official tonight, Tony DeLau. Louisville 6-2-1 on the season, 1-2-1 in ACC play. They're fourth in the Atlantic Division right now. That was a big win they picked up against NC State last Sunday, but you go out to Charlottesville and not the performance that you would like, getting down by the Hoos 3-0. The Cards donning the red, of course, and Casey Ruse in the navy blue with the yellow numbers. Tatafu long to D'Argento. Kansas City hails from the Summit League. Currently 4th out of 6 in that league. That conference also has some tough opponents in Denver and Oral Roberts, both teams receiving votes. Omaha as well.
And we could see early on here, Joey, Roos are comfortable in possession. They want to be able to have the ball, which is tough to do against a Louisville squad that wants to move you around and pass through you and around you. And you're on the road tonight, so they'll have to do what they can.
Taboada inside Josh Jones, headed out and off the noggin of Bryce Middleton. And Damian Barker-John will send this up to Subachan, try to generate a chance.
Louisville, this pressing team, they're going to high press when Kansas City is trying to play out of the back. They're going to counter press when they lose the ball, and they are going to make every single player, at least by design, that's the goal, is to make every single player on their opponent work through very quick decision making. Make them uncomfortable.
That's one way to do it. And John Michael Hayden, his 5th season, 3 NCAA tourney appearances in 5 years, and the standard has been set for this team. And he understands that the culture around soccer here in the city of Louisville, there's a strong feeling that the Cards can really get it done this season. Heading into the year, maybe expectations were to get back to the tournament. Now they look like a team that, with some good seasoning, could really make a deep run into tourney play this season. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, obviously, but
yeah, the thing is one, I mean, I think we've learned that they don't want to play any teams from Virginia in the NCAA tournament. But in all seriousness, no, I think they've got to clean up some of the things that led to those 2 losses. You can't give up 3 goals in any situation. I don't care how good the opponent is. You do not want to be giving up 3 goals. And John Michael Hayden was the first to tell you, look, they went up against Virginia Tech and they took their foot off the gas. And you can't do that the deeper you get into the season. I think they've got the depth this year, but they need to keep having that killer instinct when they take leads to finish games off, and that'll carry them a long way.
Elliot LeBeth with a run on it. Nicely done by Josh Jones to stymie that opportunity. Tries to scoot to McManus. Kansas City clearly trying to get out in the open on the run quickly. Jeff, tonight, if the Roos are going to pull off the upset in Louisville, what needs to happen?
Well, they're already off to a good start with the first one, which is absorbing the early pressure. I always say that when you're playing Louisville here at Lynn Stadium, and that's because, again, Louisville wants to play a frenetic pace game. They want to be in your face. They want to win the ball back, possess, play through you. And then, look, if you cannot possess, which is what Kansas City's goal is tonight, if they're having a hard time staying on the ball, you've got to hit those counterattacks, and you've got to take advantage of your opportunities. They may be hard to come by tonight, so when you get them, you've got to be able to score.
Mentioned in the open, 11 goals this season, 8 different goal scorers. We talked to Ryan Poor about the draws this season. It's just a matter of finishing games as well. Starting relatively on pace, but being able to finish those games is a huge key to winning for the Roos. They haven't quite been able to figure out how to punch their way through to a win. Now up ahead, Subachan working hard against 3 defenders to Sample. A few Roos scattered around him, and Camerlengo, the goalkeeper for the Roos, will corral that ball.
Well, another thing about this Kansas City squad, if you go back and look at their games and their scoring output in those games, it took them a little while to get going scoring goals. I think it was the first 3, if my memory serves. Yeah, first 3 games they were shut out, and they've been inconsistent with their goal scoring. But the good news is that they have started to use some of those lessons from playing the difficult schedule, as you said, Joey, to apply them into their league games. And it's a tough schedule that they're going to play, but I think they like their team.
This is Lebeth working against Quentin Elliott. Nobody home inside the 18.
That was good work, though, by Lebeth. You're going to see Louisville lose some space in behind where the fullbacks want to be because they are getting forward so much. And if you can take advantage of that as Louisville's opponent, that's where you can find some joy in your attack.
For the Cardinals, Jeff, what's something they ought to look for in their game plan tonight?
Well, again, whenever they're at home, the style of play that they have, they tend to be more successful when they start fast. They get some early goals and really get comfortable in the lead. And then keeping it interesting. What do I mean by that? Sometimes they can get to be a little bit one-dimensional. And what they can really help themselves with tonight is if they can get the ball out wide, they can play through the middle. They've got really talented players in both areas, and see if they can make Kansas City try to figure things out.
Taboada off the back of Sonder Road. This is held up by KC. Edson Murguia with a huge shot and a goal. His second of the season. And the hometown kid from Kansas City gets the Roos on the board first.
Well, that is some way to start on the road against the number 8 team in the country. What a hit. And you can tell right away that is going to be a warning sign for Louisville. Kansas City already possessing quite a bit, and they've got a bunch of guys on this team that are not afraid to pull it. We talked about the goal production from a variety of areas, and there it goes again. What a hit that was, and a heck of a goal from Murguia.
Where's the captain's armband for a reason? He's had lots of academy play in his young career so far, but none of his actions so far has been more impactful than it is right at this critical juncture. Louisville was good early in 8 of their 9 matches this season, scoring first up until last Friday against UVA. And another error gives way. This is Seth Kasich. And that shot over the top from Julien Labordelus.
Yeah, Louisville's got to be careful here because both of these chances, the goal and then that one, came from giveaways. And the first one, Louisville was pinned deep, couldn't play through the press. And that one, I know a player slipped on the far side, but maybe a pass that was a little hard to get to. They've got to be, for lack of a better phrase, on their P's and Q's tonight, Joey, because this team is already showing they're good enough to take full advantage if Louisville is willing to make some mistakes here along their back line and trying to play out.
There's Barker John working hard against Miguel Fernandez and Ambordia. D'Argento. And that's off the back of Hector Taboada. Exactly the type of start you love to see if you're Kansas City. And not the way you want to start for Louisville, spotting your opponent right away in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, but Kansas City, to their credit, I mean, they came out and they looked confident. I mean, they were on the ball, possessing that high press that they had put in there to make Louisville have to play out, made Louisville very uncomfortable, and they're finding some space here.
This is Labordelus. Scooting to Elliott Labath. And Jones getting it out of that attacking third for KC. And I think you're right. There's a little bit of pep in the step of these Ruse players. Some pep in the hop, maybe, if you will. That's my one for the night.
These guys aren't Joey's.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a dad joke. I'm allowed to make them.
Yeah, you're allowed to make those now. This is Elliott. Just scoot to McManus. Nicely poked and anticipated by Kasich. Tossed up to Labordelou. Taboada. Best win so far for this Ruse team was a 2-1 victory over Creighton right before conference play started. In the Summit League, you get very familiar with your opponents, being there are only 6 Summit League teams for men's soccer. They drew against St. Thomas last Friday. Luke Holting had the lone goal for the Ruse against the Tommies. Elliott to DBJ. Trying to find Saunders Road on a run, and Camerlengo corrals it down. And Camerlengo came over from Central Methodist and NAIA program. He's an All-American at the NAIA level. He's senior from Pescara, Italy. Big personality. Plays at a high level. Good feet. According to Ryan Poor, and a big reason why they've been able to hold teams to low scores. The Ruse have just had problems putting the ball in a net themselves, but not tonight so far.
If you're Louisville, you've got 75 more minutes. You don't need to try every single Route 1 pass that's available to you. You don't need to just immediately try to start pumping the ball into the box. You can keep doing what you do. But the Cards just have not been able to sustain possession and stay on the ball, which is unlike them.
There's Taboada. Laterally to Labordelus. Last year, Kansas City, 7 wins, 7 losses, and 5 draws. Fell to Denver in the semis of the Summit League. At the time, the Pioneers were ranked number 9. Lost the Pioneers in the Summit League Championship the year before. A little long for Damian Barker-John. In the first 15 minutes, haven't seen too much of this Louisville offense. What needs to change, Jeff, in your eyes?
Well, they've tried a couple of times to put the big switch on. They've tried a couple of more vertical balls over the top, and neither has really been anything more than hopeful. I think you got to find ways to get Sonder Road on the ball. You've got to find ways to create passing channels through your midfield to connect your lines here, and they just have not really had much of a presence in the midfield. So you've got to see if you can find a way to be a little more physical and grow into that area.
Casson. DBJ contending with Mile Casson. Axel Alejandre just sends this one to the opposite end. Light breather for the Cards. That loss to Virginia did sting quite a bit. 2 first-half goals. One near the end of that first half against the Cavaliers. Really couldn't get themselves. Louisville really couldn't get themselves back into play. Still ranking top 25 nationally in goals per game, shots per game, and shots on goal. Superchan. Camerlengo tries to boot this one to Middleton in the midfield. Been fighting a wrist injury, see the cast on his left hand. Jones scoots to Svetnov, who's been so brilliant this year. He gets caught off guard with that first goal by the Roos.
See, in these moments, you saw it there. Elliott had the ball, no options for him, had to swing it, which is fine. But then you swing it to the other side, and there's no options on that side. There's no way to build through, get it out to your fullbacks and build through the midfield because nobody is available. And that's partially Kansas City taking those options away, but Louisville just a little sluggish here to start this one.
And we thought that maybe against NC State, more pertinently, that the absence of Gage Guerra and Jorgalides might hurt, but they stepped up. Hey, this is another chance to step up. And the opportunity squelched by the ruse of Kansas City. Ethan Superchan tumbling. This goes back to KC.
Camerlengo, I think this replay will make me look smart or not, but I'm pretty sure he put him off. Yeah, just enough. So he comes back, he gets help from Caisson, but the initial moment here, the goalkeeper does well to make himself big and stay low. I think Subashan, as soon as he got a chance to collect himself, was a little frustrated that he didn't just try that one time. Of course, it's hard. You're running away from the goal to your from right to left. The goal's back to your right. The goalkeeper is in a good angle. But he got frustrated with himself because he took a heavy touch and ended up being the one to commit the foul there. But a sign maybe that Louisville can find ways to get into some space. And you know who was at the center of that was Damian Barker-John.
Yeah.
He's been a bright spot here in the early going for Louisville. He's got to be the guy for them at times, and he's shown why.
Yeah, reigning ACC Offensive Player of the Week last week after that 2-goal performance, that huge night against NC State. And by the way, you always sound smart on replays. Don't get down on me, Jeff.
It's always a test of your memory the older you get.
This might be a chance here for the Roos again. Elliot Lebeth. It's a Brevin Cole. Stolen away by Damian Barker-John up the feet of Miguel Fernandez. But the Roos are contending well as Cade Martin got in the mix with Ethan Subachan. Brevin Cole again. This time Elliot Labath working against Quentin Elliott. Fernandez too long. Svetnov smartly lets it glide by. Alex Svetnov, Golden Glove winner in 2023 College Spring League. Signed under the Indy 11 Academy. And he made a statement early. 6 saves and a clean sheet against Tulsa. Really the springboard for this Louisville Cardinals team. Hopped into the rankings after 1 match. Haven't looked back. Minus a couple losses. This is Middleton outside of the cage. Bryce Middleton flirted with it. He's as described by Ryan Porras, just an agent of chaos when the ball gets in the 18.
Well, again, this is a nice play into space, and Kansas City just seems to be more willing to create space, more willing to pass into it, more willing to run into it than Louisville, and that resulted in another nice opportunity for the Roos, and you got a corner out of it.
Julien Labartolou leads this team in assists. And points for that matter. The Frenchman has been quite impressive for Ryan Porras' squad. Loses it a little bit here, but regardless, this is a Roos team that are really hitching a lot of different angles. We're trying to contend to get it back into this matchup. Still feels like they're in the feeling out phase a little bit.
They are, and they've got to get more comfortable on the ball. Midfield is just empty here. There's just no options for Louisville here, and they're all going long, and there's nobody to connect them right now, and that's a little frustrating here. You want to try to get Alejandre in on the ball. You need to get Sander Road on the ball. Or Quentin Elliott can just do it all himself there.
That was nifty from Quentin Elliott, that's for sure. D'Argento down to Sander Road. He finds some magic in that lucky corner. On in front, Camerlengo stalls that out. Axel Alejandre tips on to Subachan. And skied. Nobody corralling it yet. Damian Barker-John to Quentin Elliott. Scooting through McManus. Subachan gets the goal to go. Maybe not, though. There is a foul from head official Jude Carr, and we play on.
Yeah, McManus a little too physical, jostling there, and didn't see who it was, but he took his man down. He was frustrated because he said it was a mutual jostling, and usually it is, but better from Louisville the last couple sequences.
And another chance, this time over the cage again for the Roos. Hector Taboada.
Yeah, just a little too handsy there for McManus. Frustrating. And then this is a big miss opportunity here because Taboada had Elliot Labette wide open. And that little drag back pass about 16 yards from frame. And a missed opportunity. And a big sub here as Sander Road comes off because Louisville just has not been able to connect through the midfield. They got to try something a little different, and Bakuzo is more of a box-to-box connecting type midfielder who's comfortable moving within the lines to try to get somebody an option on a pass, and they need to figure out ways to keep moving through the lines, keep getting their attacking players some supply lines here from their midfield.
Andre contact there will get the ball back to Kansas City. Alejandro originally committed and played his freshman year at North Carolina, comes over from Chapel Hill to Louisville within the ACC, wanted to keep fresh in one of the best conferences in America. And he could be impactful in different ways in the midfield. Louisville trying to rely on anybody right now for that facet of offense. Middleton, Tatafu going at it outside the 18. Subachan scoots to DBJ, and Damian Barker-John's on the run again. Through to the box. McManus got tripped up. No whistle blown. Subachan fights back against Taboada for that ball. And Louisville holds true in this possession. Georgalides on deck to sub in for the Cards.
Yeah, that's a frustration foul there from Alejandro. He has teams set up to move the ball through, pass through their progressions that I'm sure they work on all the time in training when they're in the attacking half. Tries to play it square for his teammate. The pass just wasn't good enough. He gets taken away and commits the foul there. So it was Alejandro, just a foul there in the transition moment, but probably also a level of frustration for him on that instance. And again, it's just being sharp enough. And John Michael Hayden has talked about that. He's had a team just sometimes switch off, and Louisville's got to find a way. They're growing into this game, but they've got to find a way to get that winning edge back with the talent that they have.
Three yellow cards against Virginia on Friday. This ball leaned into the box. Svetnov leaves his feet to stymie any chance from the Roos.
Yeah, that's just good goalkeeping, tracking the ball all the way and knowing he's got the right angle to go get it and hold on to it. He's shown that time and again, Joe. He's just very comfortable pursuing the ball, taking good angles. His timing is really good.
Bradley Sample. You like that out of your holding midfielder. This is a spot where Louisville would love to get back all square. Up to Subachan. Out in front. And McManus defended well there by Kasich. Nobody home. Bakuzo looking for Damian Barker-John.
But those are the passes that Louisville has been needing. They need a runner, which was Subachan there, to create something, create some space, create an avenue to play a ball. And then Quentin Elliott, who's been excellent all season, playing a nice pass through to the runner who's coming across that back line. And now we're going to see Georgalides on for Subachan, which will change the look. You put McManus at center midfield. You move Barker John out to the right side. And that just gives Louisville a couple of spark plugs on the outside and a veteran center forward in McManus to try to run into those spaces that we're talking about.
Oh, that was almost danger for the Roos.
Ryan Poor talking about how much he likes his goalkeeper, and you can see why. Camerlengo, really sharp reading of the play to come off his line. He's done it a couple of times here in this first half.
Pacuzzo to Jorgalides. This is the smoothest offense we've seen from Louisville tonight so far. Damian Barker-John loses the handle at his feet, wrestling there with Kasich. And this goes back to Kansas City.
It's hard to tell. I'm not sure if it ended up being a goal. I think it's a goal kick. But yeah, better stuff here working down that right side. And Barker-John just didn't have the handle on it there, but normally is pretty smooth with it. A good sign, though, that you can find some space for him to operate in that area. And he's typically pretty dangerous serving something across like that.
A lot of press out of this Roos squad. Maybe that was a point of emphasis tonight. I want to contend with Louisville. They're doing just that. Middleton trying to save it on the end line. He doesn't.
Well, you can do, there's a few ways that you can play a team like Louisville with the style that they want. You can sit back and say, we have the ability to sit in a low block, defend, work our way through their pressure, understand we won't have the ball a lot and hit them on the counterattack. Or you can do what Kansas City has done, which is basically, hey, I don't care who we're playing. We're going to play our style. We're going to possess. We're going to let our front four guys play with a little pizzazz and excitement and see what happens. And so far, that has worked for them. They're trusting their goalkeeper, and they got a brilliant goal by letting their guys cook a little bit in the attack.
It was Edson Murguia in the 8th minute for the Roos. It sent it about 15 yards outside the 18 even. It was a rocket. Louisville has been trying to climb back into this ever since. I think you'll like this too. Ryan Poor, remember the detail, he was saying, we're probably the grittiest team in our conference. We can muddle in things. We can really make a mess out of opposing teams' game plans. We've done that so far tonight. Blue collar mentality, just like their city, he said.
Well, and he did say, you know, we'll play to the level of the opponent, and they're doing that tonight. They do not look like a team that is out of its depth whatsoever.
D'Argento, can he get just to the end line? Sliding effort doesn't go. A couple of subs in. Christian Kofi and Luke Holting for the Roos, in for Middleton and LeBeth. And Jones gets tabbed. Contending with Holting at that lone goal against St. Thomas.
This is an awkward angle. You're not really going to be able to shoot from this distance, I wouldn't think. You might be able to curl something to that far post and see if you can get a vertical runner.
Yeah, Labordelus will have this ball not in the best position, like you said, but certainly options around. And if KC can mount a 2-goal lead, be huge. He sends this way over top into the boiling point.
Yeah, and ambitious. The way he lined up, you could kind of see, I think he might be trying to shoot it here, which seemed a little surprising from the distance, but you could see from his hand motion, he was trying to kind of get it to have some topspin and come back down, and obviously got it all wrong. It happens to the best of us.
There's a good chance for Louisville. Jorgalides. Shot deflected by Caisson. This will set up for a Cardinals corner kick. And the first of the night. Normally tops in the ACC at least in corner kicks. It's been rare air. Jorgalides into the box. Tatafu popped up, punched out by Camerlengo, and Axel Alejandre works to get that shot off wide of the cage.
It's a level 10 out of 10 difficulty that Alejandre just tried to pull off. I appreciate the effort there, but yeah, I just came across it, wasn't able to get much on it in the right direction. Good defending there at the last second by Hulting to just come out and put him off it just a little bit. But once again, Camerlengo coming up big across the middle there with a really good corner-taking team in Louisville.
Elijah Brisbazzi checks in for Axel Alejandre at midfield. And he's a player that has entered in a few different matches in different capacities. Not shown up on the stat sheet quite yet, but can certainly make an impact. He's injured early in the season. Healthy as a horse now. Christian Kofi working against Josh Jones. It's a tall order, literally. Louisville loaded schedule this season. 9 matches this year, feature tournament teams. 4 of those teams made it to the round of 16 last season. The Roos haven't made it to the NCAAs since 2008. They've only been in the Summit League for 4 seasons now. Prior to that, in the Western Athletic Conference for a number of years. Program started back in '87. 3 tournament appearances in 01, 03, and 08. Luke Hulting and the Roos trying to make this a launching pad. If they could pull off this upset today, in this first half they've looked good. Bakuzo does well to knock that one away from Brevin Cole. McManus out of bounds. Working along that near sideline. McManus, a former Kentucky Gatorade Player of the Year at Trinity, locally here in Louisville. Former Kentucky Wildcat, comes back over to his hometown team, and he's made an impact ever since he's come back.
And he's one of those guys where you can play him as you've seen tonight. I mean, he can start out wide, he can play in the middle. Just a valuable, competitive guy for this Louisville squad, and someone who is going to help them win games down the stretch here.
Hasn't found the back of the cage yet this season. We want to bet that changes soon here as we're getting over halfway through the season already, which is just a wild thing to say. It's gone by so fast. Jones falling as he heads that one. An interesting matchup to watch there on your screen. Christian Kofi and Josh Jones. Junior from Hatfield, Pennsylvania. Has had a pretty good career so far here in Louisville. Vertically to Bradley, sampling on Brandon McManus. Desperately trying to get that ball away from Cade Martin. Goes back to Kansas City. Martin wins that battle.
Yeah, McManus is just always going to be pesky. He's that kind of forward to chase down everything, and sense a little frustration there. It hasn't really been a whole lot for him to deal with in terms of playing to feet, playing with possession into the attacking third. A lot of it's been over-the-top stuff that he's had to chase. It's not really Louisville's DNA when they're scoring goals and they're playing well.
Jorgalides and Brevin Cole getting tied up. This goes by way of the cards. And fourth official, Tony DeLau. The final verdict on that one.
It's a good little bit of skill there from Jorgalides, and then just a little bit. It's a battle. So just a full effort battle for the Roos down this near side, and Jorgalides trying to get more and more involved since coming off the bench.
Damian Barker-John gets a blow. Sammy Murphy checks in for the Cardinals. Three and a half to play in our first half. Edson Murguia scored for the Roos in the 8th minute. Jorgalides scoots off the free kick to McManus. Behead Tatafu. Quentin Elliott tries to save that ball, misses the entry pass back into the 6.
A little interesting set piece there to be able to get McManus to come back to it and play a second ball in, but again, Louisville just not looking super sharp in this first half.
Brevin Cole to Labordelus. Back to Cole. And Christian Kofi off the back of Mason Tatafu. Former CAA Rookie of the Year with Hofstra. Certainly happy to have Mason Tatafu back in the lineup if you're John Michael Hayden and the rest of his staff.
And I know you've got Bryce LaBelle too. I mean, they've got a really nice trio of center backs on this Louisville squad.
Murguia. McManus heads that one out. Final 2 minutes here. See if Louisville's got a little juice to finish this half, or can the Roos make this even tougher on the Cardinals?
I just want to state for the record, Joey, that I absolutely hate short corners. I don't understand why teams are averse to just putting the ball in the box. It's become this, it's not a trend. I mean, it's been happening now for a while, but just play the ball into the area and see if you can get something on frame. I don't understand trying to get too cute with your corners. But we could talk about that for 20 minutes if I really had the opportunity.
If I really get you started on the healthy debate route, I don't know when I'm going to get you to stop. Well, it's true, though. Trends evolve and trends die. It'd be interesting to see how other teams adapt to that. If they do, Sammy Murphy down after hobbled there for a second. Another Kentucky native.
Just got to walk that one off. But
it's one of those, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
No, it's look, I mean, you're Kansas City. You've played really well so far. And I just pump it into the box and see if you can get something.
That's going to be a yellow. Was that Brizbazi?
Yeah, a little pull back there for Brizbazi. It was Laborda loose, right? He's just dribbling away from him. He pulled him back, pulled on his jersey. Yeah, you can't do that.
Laborda loose is like,
card.
Yeah, there was no, he didn't even need to exaggerate at all.
Nope. Some frustration fouls here from Louisville in this first half, and I understand. I mean, they've not been really at the pace so far today. They have not been connecting through the lines consistently. They haven't been able to get their creative guys on the ball very much. And credit Kansas City a bit for that, but it's also been, I know, pretty frustrating. You can tell for Louisville.
Oh, Mile Gasson sends that ball into the stands here at Dr. Markin City Lynn Stadium. Luckily, and into an empty seat, or a section of empty
5
seats.
feet higher, I think that would have been off my face. I wasn't. I was watching the screen here for a second, and that could have been really bad.
Yeah, one of these monitors is about to get jacked up.
Bad stuff. It's all right.
Now into the box, maybe a chance for Louisville. Headed out, Dorgalides corrals to Sample. One-timer wide of the cage. And that would have been an impressive bout. It would have ignited this Louisville team. But alas, the Roos have hopped into the Derby City, ready to play. 1-0 after 45 minutes. Edson Murguia gets it rolling for the Roos. The Cardinals trying to find their way. Halftime right now, second half of the way back.
Hey, Jamie.
Oh, what am I up to? Just visiting a special secret client. I can't say who it is, but let's just say she bundled her dream house and her dream car for around-the-clock protection with Progressive.
Oh.
She has another house in Malibu. She's been an astronaut, an architect, a CEO.
We're in front of her house, dude.
Well, I'd love to tell you who her boyfriend is, but I don't think I can. I'd love to tell you, but I don't think I can.
Marty, look for it on digital and Blu-ray.
The future is threatened by enemies often unseen
They alert Marine.
and unexpected. In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical, because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
The Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Oven brings 700-degree high heat you can't get in your traditional oven to your backyard or balcony. Go from dough to delicious in just 3 minutes and achieve perfectly cooked crusts and gooey cheese. Harness high heat for brick oven-inspired charring and blistering every day. Control the heat for slow smoked barbecue classics and add smoky flavors to any dish you make with the Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Oven.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good,
old days.
Stop parroting everything. Instead, drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
Since when do you dictate what we do?
Exactly. You're not the boss of us.
Power to the people!
Oh, well. Individuality often complicates things.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Want to know why no one out-pizzas the Hut? Pizza Hut meat lovers' melts are filled with almost a half a pound of meat and cheese for just $6.99. Enough for two, price for one. That's why no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Tourists. Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists photographing thousands of miles of remote coral reefs that can be analyzed by AI in real time. So researchers can identify which areas are at risk and help life underwater flourish.
I became involved with the Engage Lead Serve Board, which is the service and leadership branch of student government. Having that experience and growing through that organization has really helped to solidify a lot of my leadership skills. I also got really very involved with the Society of Porter Scholars. I'm a member of the Beta Epsilon chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha, which is the first Black sorority ever founded. Being a part of that has been an amazing experience. I have 17 amazing sisters that I'm so happy that I get to enjoy my last year with. I have a twin sister. Her name is Moji. She's definitely my best friend. We do everything and go everywhere together. I don't think that college would have been as fun without her, without having her around. Being at the University of Louisville has really given me a lot of opportunities to grow as a student and as a member of the Louisville community.
One of the programs that I really like here that helped me come here was the Porter Scholar program that I really enjoy. They have helped me throughout all 4 years of me being here. They have many mentor programs that have helped me, but it really took me getting outside my dorm, like getting involved in campus. Being a resident assistant has helped me connect with many residents. The SOSer was a wonderful experience. Because when I first started off, I was shy. Like, I was like, there's no way I can do this, because like looking at all the other SOSers from the previous years, they were loud, like got the students' attention. But to be able to do that was very rewarding. So to see myself as an SOSer for those past 2 years and being able to connect with many students and being able to build that relationship with them was very rewarding.
Going beyond just having great professors and having a great curriculum within my different areas of study, I've also been able to grow as a leader and as a servant to my community.
The University of Louisville does a great job of making sure students are involved, and they make sure this campus feels like a home to you.
Go Cards! Yeah,
Hey, Jamie. Oh, what am I up to? Just visiting a special secret client. I can't say who it is, but let's just say she bundled her dream house and her dream car for around-the-clock protection with Progressive. Oh. She has another house in Malibu. She's been an astronaut, an architect, a CEO.
We're in front of her house, dude.
Well, I'd love to tell you who her boyfriend is, but I don't think I can. I'd love to tell you, but I don't think I can.
Marty, look for it on digital and Blu-ray.
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
The Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Oven brings 700-degree high heat you can't get in your traditional oven to your backyard or balcony. Go from dough to delicious in just 3 minutes and achieve perfectly cooked crusts and gooey cheese. Harness high heat for brick oven-inspired charring and blistering every day. Control the heat for slow smoked barbecue classics and add smoky flavors to any dish you make with the Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Oven.
Want to know why no one out Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut meat lovers' melts are filled with almost a half a pound of meat and cheese for just $6.99. Enough for two, price for one. That's why no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hey, is that the new iPhone 15 Pro?
Yeah, got it at T-Mobile. Hey, be right back.
Whoa, I love that titanium. You need to go to T-Mobile, where new and existing customers can get iPhone 15 Pro on them. And with their Best Gold 5G plan, you have the freedom to upgrade every year. You're very wise, Reflection Common, and you're very handsome, Real Common.
At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium on us now and the freedom to upgrade every year.
Signor Mayor, with this tower, I will make Pisa world famous. And you?
Yeah, you can see towers like this in Rome, in Venice, in Florence.
But this one's round.
No, I don't know. Maybe a Red Bull will help you see it from a different slant.
Yes, I got it. We'll build it like this.
Perfetto!
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to Louisville, Kentucky, where the Kansas City Roos have made a statement early in this one in the first half and have dominated in the first 45 minutes. Back with you here in the booth alongside Jeff Greer, Joey Lindstrom. It was an explosive first half for Kansas City, maybe one that we didn't even expect. Louisville, we thought, had a little bit of salt in the wound after that Virginia loss come out, but they just didn't look like the same Louisville team we expected, and Kansas City took advantage of that.
Yeah, Kansas City taking the game right to Louisville, not afraid, pressing early, in possession, looked very confident, running into space, creating chances, and Louisville looking a little shaky. And early on, Joey, is how things kind of broke for Kansas City. A giveaway off the high press, an incredible finish there from Murgaya, and that is how Kansas City has the lead, but they have made Louisville very uncomfortable in that first half.
And a couple other chances that really gave way for them. You see Laborde-Lou working hard to try to get a shot on goal. Louisville had their dicey spots where they needed to go, but they really ultimately weren't able to finish because this back line of KC defended well.
Yeah, Camerlengo, the goalkeeper, really, really excellent, closing off the angle there for Subashan's opportunity, and then Brad Sample, a good one-time hit right before halftime. Maybe the best look at it that Louisville has had so far in this one.
In the 7th minute, Edson Murguia shot that rocket, but Louisville really not able to get any chances on the net tonight. They've led in time of possession for half that first half, and then KC really took over from the better part of the first 45. It really felt like Louisville was trying to contend. They just haven't felt like they've been at pace like we're used to seeing. And KC has taken full advantage, and the Roos are looking for the improbable upset against the 8th-ranked team in the country. Edson Murguia's squad's got a little juice. See if they got in the second half, or can Louisville come back? We'll be back.
Game day in the ACC. We live for it.
What's my definition of success? Being brave enough to dream big. Even when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left.
It's time for football in front of a packed house onto the right.
And he'll go up top. What a catch!
Wow! Come for it all.
I have something for you. It's a security gig.
I will work and you will sleep, you understand?
This place has been shut down for years. It was huge in the 80s with the kids.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Come to life. Come to life.
Where'd he go?
Giant robots murdering innocent people. You didn't think you should maybe tell me about that?
Rated PG-13.
And Doug.
And Doug says you can customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. He hits his mark center stage and is crushed by a baby grand piano. Are you replacing me? With this guy?
Customize and save with Liberty Bibbity.
He doesn't even have a mustache.
Oh, look, a Bee-Boo.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good,
It's not like the good old days.
Stop parroting everything. Instead, drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
Since when do you dictate what we do?
Exactly. You're not the boss of us.
Power to the people!
Oh, well. Individuality often complicates things.
Red Bull gives you wings.
For legal reasons, we can't say an Egg McMuffin is a hangover cure. But it probably wouldn't hurt to have one delivered. Just putting it out there. Order McDelivery in the app.
Tourists. Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists taking photos that are analyzed by AI. So researchers can help life underwater flourish.
That looks really high.
It is high.
Whenever you're ready.
Are there any sticks?
Nope.
You sure? Here we go.
It's time to push your limits.
You're doing great.
Whoa, is that a buffalo?
Babe, that's a cow.
The all-new Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. Adventure on the edge.
Back here at Dr. Mark and Cindy Lynn Stadium, the Kansas City Roos came to play against the Louisville Cardinals 1-0 after one half. And what was an impressive bout for Edson Murguia and company, trying to compound on their efforts. Ryan Poor's team in shape for an improbable upset. Last time these two teams met was in 2004. Louisville won that match 2-0, but there were some other important things going on in 2004, by the way, especially one of the best wedding ballads of all time. Yeah, by Usher. Give Shrek 2. Why don't you get away from me, donkey? I'm more than making waffles, Jeff. You're going to be showing that to your kids soon if you haven't already. And your Boston Red Sox won the World Series.
Yeah,
by the way.
One of the best years of my life in 2004. Patriots won the Super Bowl too, and there was a young football star I hear in the making. Look at that. There's Joey Lindstrom.
God.
19 years ago, Joey.
You know what's crazy?
You haven't aged a bit.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, just subtle differences for me. It's fun to see the little tykes out there. I don't know where they dug that up. Embarrassing photo. 7 years of age for your boy there. Oh, what's up? Back there at the boiling point. Yeah, you're right. And haven't aged a bit. No, it's fun. The Carts TV staff and crew does an amazing job. Shout out to our producer, Morgan Brooks, and our entire ACC Network crew. It's a blast to be able to bring you college soccer tonight. And not only that, a great matchup that has maybe some high expectations for this Roos team in the second half. What do you think about that? I mean, this is a Louisville, we obviously know they need to get back on track. But for this Roos team, can you peak too early in a match and you say, hey, we're playing the number 8 team in the country, we're leading right now? Is there validity to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that they're playing it, it's hard to imagine that they have any other speed than the one they're playing with, which is just complete verve and excitement and confidence. They look like a team that is absolutely unafraid of the fact they're playing a top 10 opponent. In fact, they look like they're enjoying it. So I would not worry about that mentality, but you know, it's always about how you respond when you get punched in the mouth, and we'll see if Louisville has one to throw after that first 45 minutes. I have my questions.
Jeff, for you, what looks to be the keys for this second half?
Well, we talked about keeping that same energy if you're Kansas City, minding the gaps too. They look like a team that wants to get forward and attack. You've got to be careful when you're in the lead. Of course, that's soccer 101. And then look, if you're Louisville, they have not worked through possession. They have not really been able to connect through the midfield. They haven't given their defenders any options through the middle of the park to try to find guys to turn and play possession through, to do exactly that last thing, which is find your creative guys, find Jorgalides, find Barker John, find Sonder Road, and figure out ways to get those creative players on the ball to make things happen. And Louisville just, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 times, just has not done that in this game, but they've got a whole other 45 minutes to try to do it.
See Gage Guerra there on the sideline. Has missed the last 3 matches rather. Has not played since September 19th versus Evansville. It was prior to missing a match, he was tied for 5th in all the NCAA in individual goals. A key player that you miss if you're Louisville, but at the same time, you're going to love to have back. He had a knock on his foot, which, it's an indefinite amount of time for that injury, an indeterminate amount that you need to serve in order to get right. But his absence is certainly felt in different ways. We didn't think it was against NC State because Louisville went ahead and ripped off 4 goals in the first half.
Yeah, it looked perfectly fine. But, to have a guy who's got the confidence and the finishing ability leading your front line not be out there, that hurts, but he's also such an important leader for this team. And I think that may be even more of a factor because you've got other goal scorers. Louisville's just got to find a way to tap into these younger guys around Subashan and see if they can create something.
Jones contact there with Labette. Elliott gets up under his own power. This will be back to the Roos. Julien Labordelou, free kick at the free kick shot earlier that went well over the cage. It's Murguia. Does he have a little more power again? Oh, that was an almost like perfectly timed zip there for Mael Casson.
Yeah, this is a good ball through. And just a lot of pace requiring defenders. I always talk about this. Defenders facing their own goal, having to deal with something at pace can be very difficult for them. And sometimes it gets knocked into their own goal. I'm sorry to any Liverpool fans who are watching tonight, but you always want to just play something across the face of the goal and see if either one of your teammates can get on it. All they have to do is redirect it, or you make a defender have to make an uncomfortable decision.
You got a Premier League team? I can't remember. I know you're all.
My Premier League is
racing.
my Premier League is in the championship right now, so I don't like to talk about that.
Okay, all right.
It has been Leeds United for the better part of 25 years, and it is another rough period in that experience for me. But thank you for bringing it up. I appreciate that, Joey.
Flowers can bloom out of dead soil, Jeff.
I appreciate the spirit in that.
Well, the other football fandom for me is the Dallas Cowboys, and I was born in '97. Saw the picture there from when I was 7 years old. So I dodged all the Cowboys' success. All I've known is heartbreak anyway.
That's good.
So I can relate with you on that.
Builds character.
That does. There's Damian Parker-John. Ahead to Bakuzo, and Elliott back to Bakuzo and over top the cage. Boy, that was a good chance for Louisville. Maybe a little extra pep in their step this half.
Yeah, that was really good stuff building down that right side. Punchy passing, moving off the ball, making them defend a little bit better. Really good stuff from Louisville. Obviously, high level of difficulty there on that last moment for Bakuzo, but really nice stuff there between that trio of Barker, John, Bakuzo, and I think it was Elliott down that right flank.
Quentin Elliott, forever the workhorse. This team converted to fullback last year. Comfortable, or during the offseason rather, comfortable now in that position with the ball at his feet. As first career goal against Greensboro earlier this season. He's got 2 on the year. Bit of an anchor for this back line of Louisville. They rely on him a ton for offensive generation as well. Bakuzo shifting through to Damian Barker-John. You like what that pair is doing right now between 11 and 8. It's Sargento now. And Jorgalides working against Brevin Cole. And D holds up for the Ruse. Bakuzo to Subachan. On the way, Bakuzo once again, and it's nicely poked out by Seth Kasich. And a throw in for the Cards.
Really good energy here in the start of the second half from Bakuzo. Moving through into space, asking for the ball. Barker-John dipping into midfield a little bit more to connect. Really good stuff to start this second half.
Long throw for Elliott. Wow, that almost had a chance. Mason Tatafu runs it down, gets back out to Sonder Road. Nobody could really get a foot or head on that ball. That's Bakuzo. Road off the back of Labordelou, and this will be a corner for the Cardinals.
It's good effort there from Sonder Road, too, on the far side to stick with it and get something out of it. Look for number 16, Jones, here.
Road in the box, too long for Jones, and Tatafu was trying to corral. And it's Labordelou. And turning it over is Elliott Labette. Uncharacteristic by the sophomore Frenchman. And Louisville starting to eat into a chance. Gathering some momentum. Elliott, long throw again. And an own goal. Louisville's on the board. It was just mishit by Mile Casson. And the Cardinals tie it up against the Ruse.
That, Joey, is why you always want to put something across the face of goal. You just had to make the defenders think about it. And that time, Caisson just, last second, the ball just kind of falls to him. And I can't tell there if that was his plant foot that knocked it underneath his swinging leg or if he had the old case of the Plato leg there. But either way, a hugely tough break for KC. But Louisville had been pushing in this first 5, 6, 7 minutes. And now they've got a whole lot of momentum.
Damian Barker-John, can they make it 2 in a row? A save from Camerlengo. Wow, that was...
Barker-John just showing off the ability there, trying to dribble through a couple defenders. Probably tried it one too many times, but almost just basically dribbled into the goal.
That was some effort and skill from Damian Barker-John. Hard to get past a senior with experience like that in Camerlengo. It's Murgia. Sample down the road. And the Ruse had to backpedal a little bit. And can they now try to extend their lead back out in front? Svetnov hasn't been too busy through the first 9 minutes because the Cardinals started to get back on track offensively, at least garnering chances That was nicely done by Cason. Now it's LaRue's on the run. The shot from Labette coming. No. Bacuzzo tackles and stymies that chance for LaRue's.
I'm begging the forwards for either team to please shoot the ball. Another chance goes begging there. You're not going to get a ton of them against this Louisville defense. Just trying to get that perfect angle, and then at some point you just got to rip it. And I say that as someone who is at a lower level of soccer than this, quite the tinkerer with the ball at my feet, and it just always drives me nuts in my advancing age to see people not just shoot it. Good work here, though.
There's no doubt. That's Middleton. Tangling with Tatafu.
Look at this. This is just 1, 2, and good defending there coming back from Kasich to just get a toe on it, but Parker-Jean almost with a goal that would surely end up on SportsCenter and surely end up in the books as one of the best goals that you'll see.
Well, that broke the scoreless minute streak for Louisville. Through halftime, it was 135 minutes. Louisville hadn't scored a goal. He had 2 against NC State. Just to go through and find Superchan. And the pink mist rolling through the attacking third for Louisville. Jones. Kasich mature in his back line. This is gonna be a foul, I believe, on 15. Yep, booking.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up to Parker-Jean and just got a little too much of his forearm involved there. Parker-Jean, though, has been dipping back into midfield quite a bit. Obviously by design here to get on the ball. Yeah, and that's an easy call, but Parker-Jean has just been a nice bright spot for Louisville, really one of the few tonight after that first half. Obviously, the whole team has played much better here in the second half, but dropping him a little bit into midfield to come get the ball and have it at his feet and drive at people, and he is causing all sorts of problems.
It'll be Sonder Road, Bacuzzo, or Damian Parker-Jean to work on this free kick. Road maybe tried to go right to goal, and this trickles out. But it'll be a corner kick for Louisville off the body of a Kansas City Roo. Through in, Josh Jones wide of the cage. Out the corner from Sonder Road.
Well, he's the go-to target. He's always going to be. And Sonder Road, again, the service is just always so good. That's a hard one to hit for pretty much anybody. He's almost able to connect it there on that near post. Running away from goal like that, that is a really high level of difficulty. Kansas City's starting to feel some real pressure here to not just stay level, but want to lose this entirely and fall behind of this Louisville squad. They're playing with a ton of confidence.
Bacuzzo, nifty pass to Jorgalides. Prospecting and eyeing that spot. D'Argento with a chance. Save Camerlengo.
But guess who that was who came back into the play and continued it for Louisville is Bacuzzo again. He has been everywhere in the second half and has been excellent playing through the midfield.
Caisson. Laborda tried to get it to Murguia, and he was tripped up. No foul. Louisville's got numbers. It's Saunders Road eyeing to Subichan, and he's over top the cage into the boiling point, and the Cards locker room. Boy, that chance looked good on that fast break, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Saunders Road didn't play Barker John through. As you see there, Bacuzzo playing in D'Argento, and then here, Barker John is just in acres of space that in this part of town would be worth quite a bit of money with the amount of real estate he had in front of him. I mean, that's a big miss to play him in there. I understand wanting to find Subichan, who's really, really an elite goal scorer, but Barker John would have been basically 1v1 with the goalkeeper if that pass was into his path.
McManus gets on for Subichan.
Honestly, that's what I thought. Saunders Road was a little bit, I don't want to say slow there because it was clearly on purpose.
Slightly hesitant.
A little deliberate. I thought maybe he was waiting for the opportunity to play Barker John, and then he didn't play that pass. There's 2 fouls in one sequence there.
Brief stoppage for a little water break too. Jude Carr chatting with Quentin Elliott. I couldn't tell if that was a disciplinary.
Yes, that was. He said,
wag of the finger.
He said, "I'm talking to you, no more." At least that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like.
Second, he definitely said no more. So I think Elliott probably has had some interactions that has the referee thinking the next one might be a yellow card. It's a tough job being a fullback. You get a lot of business you have to deal with in both directions. It used to be that those guys were mostly defenders, but the game has changed in such a way that they do everything now.
Tapawada defended well by Damian Barker John.
And the referee immediately telling Barker John to chill a little bit there. It was a lot of energy from him, though, and that's something that he's added to his game, too, is he does come back and help defend quite a bit.
See the delivery of shots there for Louisville.
Yeah, there's a little extracurricular activity there down from Tapawada. Just if you're Kansas City, you got to try to make sure that you keep your heads about you here in this one, as Louisville applies a lot of pressure.
Braden Yost in for Bryce Middleton. Brevin Cole scooting to Christian Kofi. This is good from the Roos. The Bordelou scores! And the Roos have hopped back in the lead.
They've been so dangerous with that front four. And what do we say, Joey? That tons of confidence. They do not care who they are playing. And they find some joy down this right side. A good drag back and a good finish there through the trees. I'm sure Svetnov would want another try at that, but Laborda just tucking it into that far post. And just like that, very much against the run of the play in the second half. Kansas City right back on top.
This team has faced some adversity off the field with travel. They go to St. Thomas on Friday. They weren't able to fly all the way back. So they stayed the weekend. They get to Louisville on Friday night, or rather on Saturday night, because their Friday flight was canceled due to storms. So they've been hanging around and spending a lot of time together, getting a little bit closer, according to Ryan Poor. Maybe that was just what they needed, a little mini retreat in between games to come out firing against a top 10 team, top 8 team, mind you. And the Roos have looked in form tonight.
You got to respect the team that's going to come into this environment and just not care. I mean, they do not care who they're playing. Lots of confidence. And they've got guys along that front line who are comfortable going right at defenders, taking shots. I'm impressed.
I think they're playing with house money tonight.
They absolutely are. And that's a dangerous team. When you come into a game feeling that way and you've got confidence and some swagger, you got nothing to lose here on the road.
Well, it's not quite a midweek game, right? But still, any game during the week you sometimes treat as midweek. Those weekend games all too important with conference play. You know, it could be easy to maybe have some oversight as well.
Yes.
Against a team that, on paper, less wins than they have in other categories, right? So it's definitely a spot where you don't want to have a look ahead if you're Louisville, but certainly the Roos came to play, and you have to respect that if you're the Cards.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, Louisville playing Friday, not as much in form as they were earlier this year. And they looked really good to come out of the second half, so I'm guessing they're pretty frustrated right now that things have gotten back to square one of how they started.
Mile Casson and D'Argento were tussling down there. And D'Argento's still down. He seems in
stayed down there,
pain, especially on his back.
Like.
Yeah. Not a spot you typically see, especially from a little jostle like that. And Casson making sure he's all right. This is a Bowling Green transfer. Gaetano D'Argento made his way into the starting lineup for Louisville from Wayne, Illinois. And certainly hope he's all right, getting tended to from training staff.
Good show there from Caisson to keep checking on him there, right?
And right there.
It was definitely a physical interaction there, and yeah.
I think when you bend your leg like that, maybe the smaller your back gets. Nicked up a little bit. Regardless, he will be replaced by Parker Forbes at some point. I see Forbes there, got a goal this season. Had assist against Tulsa. That lone goal to Georgalides in the opener. And D'Argento, his night likely over, but if you're going to have someone step in, and I'll be Parker Forbes. Does this change the shape for Louisville then?
That probably is going to be a like for like, I think.
That's what I was thinking, but
Forbes is pinched in here.
Yep.
No, he's going to shift back out. He'll just be like for like left back there, and Louisville, will just need to find new ways to connect along that left side with Forbes.
Nicely done by Georgalides to Damian Barker-John out in front in the 6. That chance hosed down by the Roos. Murguia. And holding. Taboada down to Christian Kofi, working against Josh Jones. And back to Svetnov, turnover. John Michael Hayden imploring his team, Sean Teepin, Stephen Linney, and Darren Yeagle, 3 assistant coaches for this Louisville team. All important roles. Try to get these guys right against a KC Ruse team that has come to play. Jorgalides. And now Sonder Road. He took a nice chance against Cameron Lingo. And Stefano dives down to defend that one.
Yeah, just didn't get enough on it there. It was on target. It took a little bit of a deflection there, an important deflection that didn't change the direction for the goalkeeper, but slowed the ball down enough, because sometimes you'll hear goalkeepers, maybe not in that necessarily that situation, but you'll hear goalkeepers tell their defenders not to deflect the ball because obviously it changes the direction of it. But that time just slowed it down enough. But Sonder Road has been much more involved here in the second half, and that's exactly what Louisville needs. He is a string puller for them when he's on.
Hector Taboada, the freshman from Barcelona, has been chaotic in the midfield tonight, just creating different opportunities for his teammates and getting in the way of Louisville's opportunities. Here's Forbes. Jorgalides. Bakuzo. Will you let it rip? No. Damian Barker John curling that ball, eyeing that corner for the snipe.
That's truly what that would have been. That would have been a real curl effort there. Didn't put a ton of pace on it, but he knew that he had Camerlengo off his line a little bit, trying to just pick out that top corner. Just need a little bit more spin on that thing, but he did hold down R1, tried to curl it into the far post.
Held down R1.
He's got a lot of trickery to his game, Damian Barker John, and he's been one of the spark plugs for Louisville tonight, so it was about time for him to try one on goal.
Rode and Kasich got tied up, but Kasich wins the foul.
Yeah, I got no problem with that whistle.
Sample takes the tumble here off the check there from Fernandez. That's good interference there from Caisson. Or Bevan Cole, excuse me.
This has been a good reaction to the go-ahead goal by Kansas City. Sometimes a team scores a go-ahead goal and starts to allow the game to come at them again. And they've been on the ball, looking a little more and more comfortable. I mean, again, Louisville was all over KC in the first 15 minutes of this second half, but the last 10 minutes or so, that's starting to change a little bit again.
Subashan back in for Jorgalides. Might be on a minutes check. Still fighting that injury, that lower body injury maybe. Elliott, that was nifty on the tackle, pushed down by Murguia. This goes back to the Cards. No booking imminent.
But perfect location to do exactly what they're doing, which is send Tatafu and Josh Jones forward. He's on the road. Loves putting spin on it. He's going to be able to play this thing into some traffic here. Yeah, that's an obvious foul.
Elliott into the box. Damian Parker-John! And the Cardinals tie it up once again.
A deserved goal for Damian Parker-John. And Louisville expected to throw down maybe a reverse card or a pickup too, and they changed it up. Give you something a little different. You thought it was going to Jones in the middle because that's what Louisville does. They shift it out. Quentin Elliott does exactly what he's supposed to do. And then Damian Parker-John, chest, foot, back of the net, and a deserved goal for him for the night he's having.
His third goal over the last 3 matches. Had 2 against NC State. Gets the equalizer here in Louisville. And the battle continues. Got ourselves a good one here. Scoring opened today in the 8th minute. And Edson Murguia, an absolute rocket outside the 18. After 1 half of play, Louisville appeared as if it had no real direction yet. And an own goal helped propel this team into an equal. And then the Roos responded by Labordelus sending one in the back of the net. And you have Damian Parker-John there.
This has been a fun game,
once again.
Joey. It's been a fun game. Some good goals. Some bright play tonight from a few guys.
Oh, this had a chance to be another bright play for Kansas City. And Holting is offside. Subachak. That was nifty, huh? Got a little magic left. McManus fighting against Mael Caisson. And now Kansas City's on the run again. Stopping on a dime. Labordelus scooting to Taboada. Against Subachan in the corner. Contact there.
And Louisville's coaching staff is pretty frustrated about that because that was unnecessary. That is, you've got a teammate right there to help you defend. And instead you give away what's essentially a short corner. You did not need to foul there. You've got help. Just a frustrating moment there for Louisville. And now they're probably 21 yards away here on this free kick. It's a tough one to defend.
Well, Damian Parker-John has something to say about that. He is scooting along against this Roos defense. To Josh Jones. Can Louisville take the lead? They cannot. Camerlengo ready for that. And parries it away with his right foot.
A huge, huge save for Camerlengo. Damian Parker-John doing all the work. Did a great job reading it there. And then look, he's just got the Jets here. And a good job there of looking up and realizing, you know what? I've got an option to make that pass, and it was inch perfect.
Saunders Road's corner, headed out by the Ruse. Forbes checks out. D'Argento is all right and checks back in. Bradley Sample with a nice tackle to get it to Saunders Road. Chance here. Jones over top, off the crossbar and over the cage. Got ourselves a good one in Louisville.
This guy is a menace in the air. We're close to the airport. I don't know if he has FAA clearance, but this kid can fly, and he is so good at his timing. That is such a huge difference. He's not just a big dude. He doesn't just have a good leaping ability. He's got good timing on it.
This is Brevin Cole to Kofi. Working against Tatafu. Outside the cage. No work there for Svetnov. Christian Kofi, first team All-Summit League last year. Hasn't found the back of the cage yet today, this season, with 2 assists on the year. You'll find that with the, look at the stat sheet of the Ruse, 8 different goal scorers on 11 goals this season coming into tonight. And Murguia and Labordelus both are in that group of 8. So they continue and add on to their own scoring. That's Rode. He's looking for Damian Barker-John, and he left his post. Malcasson to Labordelus. Scooted to Christian Kofi. And Hector Taboada against Elliott. Labordelus wide of the cage. That would have been pinpoint accuracy from the Frenchman.
Labordelus is fun, man. He is unafraid to try it. And that actually was starting to come back toward goal. The spin obviously had too much power to curl as needed, but good build up there in transition for Kansas City that generate a decent chance there. Svetnov did look like he probably had that covered if it was on frame.
Final 14 minutes in this match. Certainly doesn't hurt, really, either of these teams to draw. In the grand scheme, of course, it would certainly help the RPI of Kansas City draw a team like Louisville, or even win.
From a seeding standpoint, if you're Louisville, you want to host games in the tournament, you want to try to go get a win. And if you're Kansas City, I think you come out of this, regardless of the result at this point, with the confidence, having played as well as you have against the number 8 team in the country. But for all the work they've put in, I'm sure they also would love to come away with a win tonight.
Oh, this is a great litmus test. See if you're ready for Denver Pioneers coming to town. Your Summit League rival. DBJ through Subachan, and Kasich interferes there. He's got a cramp though, and this is back to the Ruse. They'll also head to Oral Roberts, who is receiving votes as well. And a yellow card issued.
I'm guessing the yellow card was for the reaction and not necessarily the foul. Was playing the ball there, but
you see Jude Carr doing the old master of disguise. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do with his hands. talk about great things that came out of 2004. How about this? Damian Barker-John. Oh, almost a great rip. Past Camerlengo, but the goalie has stood tall tonight. He's been pretty impressive. Just 5 saves to his credit, but they've all been very impactful ones at that.
Yeah, DBJ at this point just realizes, just put something on frame, he wins a corner.
Road into the box. D'Argento, another chance. Rolls off back of the head of Jones. Camerlengo sends it up to Laborda-Luz, and D'Argento contends. Road to the midfield.
That was an excellent play there from D'Argento.
Kasich against Subachan, who slips. I'll tell you what, this match has taken a couple shots of espresso at halftime because this is spicy. We're in for a good finish. Christian Kofi and Kansas City offside.
Yeah,
Just barely, I think.
It's gotten very open, too, and I don't know who that favors necessarily. If you're Louisville, you don't want to get caught. Fall behind again here, but also if you're Kansas City, you don't want to completely come undone chasing a winner. It's tough to say, but it has certainly opened up for both teams.
Wow, what a pass from McManus. Sweeps through to Subachan. And the freshman wide of the cage.
I wanted to get it on that left foot, and you could see right away that that's what he was going to try to do. A heck of a pass there from McManus. I'd love to see him just shift it onto that right foot and blast it. Tried the curl there, and it was always going to be wide at the trajectory that it started with. I do a lot of respect for the freshman for trying something like that in that scenario.
He's got a lot of gumption. There's no doubt about it. He's trying things that you don't normally see You see a lot of freshmen be timid.
Yes.
He's not that.
No question. That's why he's on the field, I think, is a big reason why anyway. And he can score goals. That helps.
Yeah, that always helps. There's Road weaving through a few defenders. And poked by Maël Casson. Under 10 to play.
He wanted to take that fast, but the center back said, hold up, man, we got to get up here.
Road finding the head of Josh Jones into the lap of Camerlengo. Off the foot of Laborda-Luz. Back to Louisville. D'Argento looks fresh as ever after that brief break, despite his injury. And Laborda-Luz earns a booking from Jude Carr, pleading his case. But that was an after the play earned yellow there.
Yeah, that's something you're going to get away with in France, but probably not at the collegiate level here in the U.S. of letting the ref have it. You get away with a lot more in Europe, it seems like. But he wasn't happy with that call and gets his way into the book.
Well, Ryan Porras said he communicates a lot with his teammates in French, just what he's used to, right? Maybe he said something in French there. Brevin Cole. Oh, he's working inside the 6th there. Fernandez. Casson. And the other Frenchman on this team had the own goal earlier. Despite that, he's been playing quite well. D'Argento commits against Fernandez, who is shaken up. And Bryce Middleton is getting ready to check in for Cardinals celebrated Senior Day today. 7 players honored before the game, and nothing more than a win is certainly what they would want for their Senior Day celebration. See if they can get it done, or can the Roos continue to surprise the Cards in a possession like this. Caisson working against Bakuzo. Road to Sample. Louisville eyeing an attack. Damian Barker-John loses the handle at his feet. And Kasich, how about the 5th year? Playing his heart out here against a tough Louisville attacking unit.
Yeah, he's had his hands full down this flank with Damian Barker-John. That is not an assignment that anyone relishes. And again, I've been very impressed with Kansas City. Now another opportunity to get your big bodies forward. And see if Sonder Road can put something into the area. The correct call.
Sonder Road, a laser beam into the box off the head of Seth Kasich. Jorgalides getting ready to check back in for the Cardinals. And Subachan will take his leave. And a good showing from the freshman tonight. Talked about the aggressive style of play. Had a couple of real good chances. Quentin Elliott, that throw in intercepted there from Camerlengo.
He's not going to let another long throw in cause the problems that it previously did. Very aggressive off his line.
So true. How about that steal from Bradley Sample? And that's Damian Barker-John to McManus. Scoots through. Jorgalides, the one-timer is wide.
That was good stuff there from McManus, though. Holds up play, turns, thinks about his options, sees the runner, and that was as good of a ball as you could play into him.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good, and Konstantinos Jorgalides not able to really get the power on it that he wanted.
D'Argento has got a new set of batteries since he came out. Now it's Damian Barker-John. Into the middle. Tries to curl another shot, this time over top the net. Under 5 to play here in Louisville. What has been a very competitive non-conference matchup. Pretty epic second half.
You're right, D'Argento has been awesome in this game. He's played center field for corners when his center backs are ahead. He's done a really good job there, but he's been just running his wheels off.
Middleton, ball at his feet. Back to Taboada. Svetnov has to come off his line to get in front of that chance from Elliot Labette, or at least what would have been. Elliott to Saunders Road. Bakuzo. Back to Damian Barker-John. Down the road. Back to Bakuzo, working hard against this Ruse defense. And Miguel Fernandez hobbling, but heading that ball out. And Laborda loose to Bryce Middleton against Josh Jones. And D'Argento there to get back to Svetnov. Scooted ahead, Jorgalides on the end line. And that's off of number 10 in red.
And that first touch betraying him a little bit. There's a good ball. He had separation on his man to try to bring that down and cause a problem. Just couldn't quite settle it there. You could tell a little rusty coming back, Jorgalides. His touch not quite as pure as it normally is, and that's understandable.
Foul there on Middleton. And get it back to the Cards. 2.5 left in our match here. Louisville heads to Clemson on Friday. Kansas City hosts Denver. But all focus on the final 2+ minutes. And it is what has been a very heated battle in this second half. Jones down to Saunders Road. McManus down in the corner, Bakuzo. Inside, DBJ takes the lead for Louisville in the final 2 minutes. A brace at a very opportune time. How about this kid, Jeff?
What a lightning strike that was for Louisville. They have been so good in the second half when they're build up. Brandon McManus, David Bakuzo, Saunders Road, and then Damian Barker-John. All those guys have been key to lightening up this team in the second half, brightening things up, finding some joy getting forward. And Damian Barker-John gets the reward for another excellent build-up from Louisville. What a sequence that was. And you see the women's soccer team super excited for the men's soccer team tonight. A great game this has been. And you feel for KC, and if you're Louisville, this has been as spirited of an effort in the second half as John Michael Hayden could ask for.
There's no doubt about that. Assist there, you said it, Bakuzo and McManus. I will say this though, based on the way this game has progressed, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more theatrics. Yeah, there's 152 doesn't seem like a lot of time. You never know in college soccer.
You just gotta give props to Bakuzo. He has run his face off in the second half. And a lot of guys would not have continued that run for McManus to play that pass through. And Bakuzo just kept working down that right side. And just really good combination play, good team goal. Hear the coaching staff telling their guys to get down into the corner, just eat up the clock here. A minute left. Knowing how dangerous Kansas City is, you do not want to mess around and find out.
That is exactly what they do. Sammy Murphy into the corner. Goes back to the Ruse. Ryan Poor's team has had a heck of an effort in this one. They were ahead at half. Seized the lead to go up 2-1. But Damian Barker-John, 2 goals and a brace at the most perfect time gives Louisville the nod. Less for some late theatrics here. That will not happen. Louisville walks away, wiping the sweat off its brow. The ruse came to play, but Louisville answers the bell. 3-2 the final. Jeff Greer, your thoughts?
Well, Louisville in the first half